Hey guys, I'm Sage Valentine and I'm back to review another episode of CBS's Big Brother, Season 18, Episode number 7. So let's just get down to it, and please excuse the sound in the background. That is my air conditioner, so I apologize if it's a little bit annoying. So, my thoughts on this episode are this. Victor's so naive. He really thinks that a girl is going to go home over him. He also thinks that he has the numbers. It never dawned on him that these guys are basically telling him everything that he wants to hear, because I don't recall any instance before this time that the guys really sat down and quote-unquote talk shop with Victor. On top of the fact that Victor ran to Paulie and told him that he won the Big Brother roadkill, which was Victor's way of extending an olive branch. To me personally, I felt like that whole move was stupid and that Victor should have kept it to himself, and then he could have made his own decision to put whomever it was that he wants up. On a side note, I hope that somebody does that and just keeps this info to themselves and makes their own decision, because the BB roadkill is such a cool power to have, and I want to see something that will really shake up this house. Paul tried to warn Victor. Victor decided to run back to Paulie and tell Paulie just about everything that Paul told him. So of course Paulie completed the circle by running to Paul and telling Paul what Victor said. So Paul decided to do this and wipe his hands of Victor, and personally I don't blame him. Victor is just about as naive as Jose was, just not as delusional, and I cannot wait to see his face on Thursday, unless of course something changes and the house decides to get rid of Tiffany, which I hope they don't do, because at this point I think that they really do need to get rid of Victor. And on a side note, just so you guys know, Davon was not the only person who was feeling suspicious about Tiffany. You have to understand that Frank is the main person that wants Tiffany out of the house. In fact, it seems like Frank wants just about every strong woman in this game out of the house. And he seems to have clung to the idea of keeping Natalie and Bridget and getting rid of Bronte, Tiffany, possibly Nicole. I didn't hear him say Davon, but stranger things have happened. Because Frank wants a woman that he feels that he can, not worry about, and that this woman won't question anything that he does. But I feel like Bridget is going to be Frank's Waterloo, because I do not see her as a weak player. In fact, I don't see any of the Spy Girls as weak. I think that if they are allowed to make it to jury, or at least make it to the halfway point of the game, that is when they are going to unleash holy terror on the rest of this game in the form of winning a crap load of competitions. But it's crazy how Frank was talking to the guys, and the guys really didn't pick that up, that like he was talking about getting rid of the girls, but then he mentioned keeping Natalie and Bridget, but it seemed like he was more for keeping Bridget over Natalie. Like, I just couldn't understand that at all. So we pretty much know that Paulie won the veto, and that Paul, Bronte, Tiffany, Day, and Zakiya played in the competition with Paulie. But the one thing that definitely confused the crap out of me was Victor's plan. And maybe you guys can help me understand. If you got what he was talking about, definitely leave it in the comments and let me know how you interpreted it. But for some reason, it felt like Victor was telling Paul if Paul, won the veto, then he shouldn't use it and keep himself on the block. Meanwhile, if Victor won the veto, he would take down Paul and then they both would be safe. I don't know why I got confused about that, but I did. So when Paulie won the veto, Victor didn't see that as a bad thing. And I'm just like, why is that not a bad thing, Victor? You do realize you're going up, but then I realize Victor's still on this whole, a girl's going to go home, so it doesn't matter what anyone does, or if he's sitting on the block, he's going to be safe. Again, you guys have nothing to worry about, even as Davon admitted that she was feeling some type of way, meaning feeling a little bit suspicious of Tiffany when Tiffany was looking at her letters. And Davon brought that concern to the other 8-pack members, and that just added to the list of suspicious things that allegedly Tiffany has been doing. But Paulie tells Paul that he's going to use the veto to save Paul. And Paul basically has to keep yet another secret from Victor. This time he's really going to keep it a secret after what Victor did to him running to Paulie. But Paul tries to warn Victor and says, you know what? While they're playing pool, because I remember this scene vividly because I watched it until the cameras switched and I forgot where they switched and I got mad because I was like they were having a good conversation. But anyways, Paul basically told Victor, like, listen, I think that Paulie is going to save Bronte. And Victor's like, no, that's not going to happen, no. And that's when, I guess, Paul finally realized, listen, I can't help Victor. It's every man for himself, so he's playing for himself, just like Davon said last week. You know, Davon picks up on things. That's the one thing I like about Davon. She picks up on what's going on, and just about everything she's saying comes true. But Victor doesn't listen to Paul, and he still thinks a girl is the next target. And then when he goes on the block, he's really not that shocked, because I guess he thinks that he is probably in some way the pawn, but at the same time he's saying to us at the end of the episode that he will fight to the end. But it would be pretty funny if I finally upload this video, go back to watching the feeds, and Victor still thinks that he is safe. Unfortunately, Victor made his bed and now he has to lie in it, and I hope that he is the person going home on Thursday, because I don't want Tiffany to go home, to be honest. I feel like she and Davon and the other girls would be good together. I don't want the Fatal 5 to break up and become the Fatal 4. But you guys take care. If there's anything else you want to talk about Big Brother wise, leave it in the comments. Let me know what you're thinking about this episode, the season so far, and who you're rooting for, and pretty much who you think is going home on Thursday. I'm going to leave links to my previous reviews in the description box below, as well as links to other reviews that I have done in the past few years. You all take care. I love you. Bye, guys. Until tomorrow. Bye.